Our next speaker needs no introduction, but I will humbly attempt to introduce my dear friend, Suheil Bushrui. Professor Suheil Bushrui, as we all know, is a distinguished author, poet, critic, translator, and the recipient of numerous awards. He is recognised worldwide as a leading authority on the life and works of the Lebanese-American writer and artist Khalil Gibran. As I have often said, I just wish every single one of my faculty were as productive as this man is at the age of 83. It's a truly remarkable performance. Currently, he is a professor and first incumbent of the George and Lisa Sakhem Khalil Gibran Chair for Values and Peace here at the University of Maryland. And as we've heard, of course, he was the founding holder of the Bahá'í Chair. Even before he came to the University of Maryland in the late 1980s, Professor Bushrui had worked hard at the national level and at international relations in order to pursue peace in many areas. For example, beginning in 1982, he served as senior cultural advisor, unpaid, to the President of Lebanon. In that capacity, he was charged with helping to achieve reconciliation among the country's diverse confessional communities. During the same time, he often advised the President during official visits to the United Nations, as well as key bilateral diplomatic conferences, including some at the White House. More recently, Professor Bushrui has worked closely with His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, especially on projects and publications related to the environment and interfaith dialogue. The incomparable Professor Suheil Bushrui.
Please, let's not forget that we are here to honor the new incumbent of the Bahá'í Chair for Peace. When I was asked by the Dean to introduce our very distinguished colleague, Dr. Huda Mahmoudi, I really refused, but he insisted, and as I have been well trained to obey, both at home and here, I said, well, your wish. I want to make a proper introduction. This has been the most difficult, honestly, in my long 58 years of teaching, of dealing with all sorts of people, the most difficult thing that has been given me to do. I hope you'll forgive me if I have failed to honor our very distinguished new Bahá'í Chair professor, but I'll do my best. Every age hath its own problem, and every soul its particular aspiration. The remedy the world needeth in its present day afflictions can never be the same as that which a subsequent age may require. Be anxiously concerned with the needs of the age ye live in, and center your deliberations on its exigencies and requirements. The words are from Baha'u'llah's writings. It is an honor to have been invited by our distinguished Dean to introduce Professor Huda Mahmoudi as the third incumbent of the Bahá'í Chair for World Peace. It would be remiss of me were I to omit, before all else, to thank President Wallace Lowe for his wise leadership in promoting the best interests of our great university and for his generous support of the Bahá'í Chair for World Peace. It is with deep gratitude that we also remember tonight the late Professor Edward Azar, who originated the idea of establishing the Bahá'í Chair for World Peace at the Center for International Development and Conflict Management. Nor should we overlook the sterling services and unique contribution of Judge Dorothy Nelson and her late husband, Judge Jim Nelson, in this connection. To them both goes the credit for successfully establishing the Bahá'í Chair and guaranteeing its success. And finally, no words can ever express my deep admiration and gratitude for Dean Townsend, for his inspiring leadership and support for the high ideals of education in general. To my successor, Dr. John Grazel, who is here with us tonight, the second incumbent of the Baha'i Chair, goes my heartfelt gratitude for the work he has done on behalf of the Baha'i Chair and for the enormous support he has given me as the first incumbent of the George and Lisa Zachem Khalil Gibran Chair for Values and Peace. The coming together of such a distinguished assembly in support of Dr. Mahmoudi is so very important because I firmly believe that Dr. Mahmoudi will achieve excellence in her services to the university, to our American society, and to the international community of today's world. We are particularly inspired. We are particularly inspired by the presence of our students, our faculty, the Friends of the Baha'i Chair, and above all, by the gracious presence of the representatives of the Board of Councillors and the distinguished members of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States of America. Dr. Huda Mahmoudi comes to us with a distinguished academic career. She holds a BA in psychology, an MA in educational psychology, and a PhD in sociology. Her academic experience has been rich and varied. She has served as Dean of the Temple of Arts and Sciences at Northeastern Illinois University, where she was also a faculty member in the Department of Sociology. She has also served as Vice President and Dean of Oliver College, where she was instrumental in an institutional transformation which won her national recognition. Her innovative ideas of institutional change attracted the attention of various high-profile forums, including Harvard University Institute for Educational Management and the Wharton Institute for Research in Higher Education at the University of Pennsylvania. Prior to her joining the University of Maryland faculty, Professor Mahmoudi served as the head of the research department at the Baha'i World Center in Haifa, Israel, from 2001 to 2011. In this capacity, Professor Mahmoudi led with distinction the activities of the research department under the guidance of the supreme governing body of the Baha'i world. Her responsibilities in this context included administrative appointments and assignments at the national and international levels, in addition to the implementation of policies regarding research, translation, and textual verification of Baha'i holy scriptures. The Baha'i community has long honored learning, but it is also true that it has only begun relatively recently to cultivate the habit of objective scholarship about itself and its texts that is the modern counterpart of the higher criticism. It must be remembered, however, that no other religion has had its scriptural treasures translated into a universal language as has the Baha'i faith within so very short a period of time since the inception of the Baha'i dispensation. Those of us who have had the arduous experience of working on transcribing and analyzing sacred texts know exactly the unique qualifications of those engaged in such an endeavor. In this context, Dr. Mahmoudi's achievement during the last 11 years has been truly outstanding. Upon assuming her duties as the third incumbent of the Baha'i Chair for World Peace in July of this year, Professor Mahmoudi faced an immediate and urgent task, namely redefining the core mission of the Baha'i Chair in a way that balances honoring the Chair's traditions on the one hand, with offering new innovative methodologies on the other. In this regard, Professor Mahmoudi's broad concept of peacemaking which he calls a worldview approach, promises to succeed brilliantly under this approach. The wisdom and practical peace-building techniques of diverse cultures are valued and explored, as are the contributions and insights of both science and religion. There can be no doubt that over the coming months and years, the worldview approach advocated by Professor Mahmoudi will help the Chair and its community of supporters within and beyond the University of Maryland transcend the established peace studies and programs that too often are segmented into regional and functional specializations. Our university has been in the forefront of other educational institutions in promoting the principle of unity in diversity, which is a Baha'i principle itself and a cardinal foundation of what may be described as Baha'i culture. I want to repeat this because it's so important that we understand for every spiritual tradition the world had seen, a culture is practiced as separate from the sacred tasks. President Loh himself has been the president par excellence in promoting multicultural understanding and diversity that unites rather than divides. Our campus has always been the home where the golden rule, do unto others what you want them to do unto you, both in a spiritual and cultural sense, is respected and upheld. This cultural diversity is represented in the many institutions and programs that represent Hindu, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian and Islamic cultures. And now the time has come to introduce more fully into the university curriculum the study of Baha'i culture, which can be correctly defined as a culture of peace. The University of Maryland was ahead of its time when over 20 years ago it founded a Baha'i endowed chair for world peace. Now, other universities are following suit and have begun to establish programs to study the Baha'i peace message. Only recently, the University of Stanford Libraries enthusiastically announced that it has acquired a unique Baha'i collection of both books and manuscripts and stated that the addition of this collection is a great foundation for a collection to provide resources for our researchers. It furthermore described the Baha'i religion as the world's youngest monotheistic religion. UCLA is now drawing attention to its rich and extensive collection of Baha'i materials, which will enormously help in understanding the Baha'i major principles. The Bahá'í Chair for World Peace at the University of Maryland remains the first Bahá'í chair established worldwide and provides the leadership in exploring the cultural dimensions of the Baha'i moral and spiritual ways of thinking and living. The leadership in this new field of research, therefore, remains with us at the University of Maryland. And truly, I can think of no one who is more committed to the noble and vital effort to identify solutions to the world's greatest challenges that prolong conflict and prevent the establishment of peace. Under Dr. Mahmoudi's leadership, the Baha'i Chair shall develop a sound scientific basis for knowledge together with corresponding strategies that will lead to the creation of a better world. The major challenges facing the whole world today and demanding the full attention of humanity are the following: the threat of nuclear annihilation, the danger of overpopulation, the degradation of the global environment, the gap between the developing and the industrial worlds, the need for fundamental restructuring of educational systems, and the breakdown in public and private morality. The agendas, plans and policies proposed by the worldly wise and defined materialistic approach are not by themselves capable of bringing about true and lasting peace. As Rushworth Kidder in Agenda for the 21st Century has stated, those policies are of uncertain value without the qualities of thought, the habits of the heart, to use a phrase that sociologist Robert Biller borrowed from Alexis de Tocqueville. In his last great work, The Management of Protracted Social Conflict, my late friend Ed Azhar, who was the first to propose the creation of the Bahá'í Chair at the University of Maryland, stressed the need for people involved in problem-solving forums to be keenly aware of the ethical responsibilities associated with the process. Shortly before his death, Professor Azhar confided in me that his last book was in a sense only half written. We discussed the need for a book which dealt with the spiritual and cultural elements which in conflict management, elements that we felt constituted a vitally important aspect of the whole issue. This statement by the late Professor Azhar was made 22 years ago. Dr. Mahmoudi, I'm sure, will realize Edward Azhar's hope and will create the program that will deal with the spiritual and cultural elements involved in conflict management and building peace. As Dr. Mahmoudi emphasizes, any peace program must necessarily deal with attitudes and values and highlight the importance of eliminating all forms of prejudice. But more importantly, it is only when individuals resolve to pursue, as a matter of daily habit, the quest for self-knowledge, inner harmony and unity, that true and lasting peace will reign.